morning from Fairbanks, Alaska. I'm about to drive straight north of here towards the Arctic Ocean, but not all the way there. Going to stop around the Brooks Range area, which is the mountain range up north. And I'm doing that to chase the aurora because this year the solar flares are really strong from the sun. It's the solar maximum right now. That's what it's called. Every decade or so, the solar flares are really strong, which makes the aurora stronger. So I'm gonna get going right at this moment. I gotta get some stuff from the store, but join me while I do this. So that white line in the distance going up that hill, that's not a ski track, that's for the oil pipeline coming down from the what's called the North Slope, where the oil fields are. That comes all the way down the pipeline to a town called Valdez. In Valdez, it gets sent to the refinery. All right, here we go. We're on the Dalton Highway now. The pavement ended, so it's a gravel highway. It's not too bad right now, but some ice is, there's definitely gonna be ice on the road as we're going up, like a full ice cover. Who is James Dalton? Let's see. A pioneer in northern Alaska petroleum exploration. If you don't know, Alaska has had something called the PFD, where the state pays you between $1,000 and $3,000 a year just to live here. So if you live in Alaska, you're gonna get between $1,000 or $3,000 just by living here. And that money has generally came from all the oil money that Alaska has because of the drilling on the North Slope. So I'm gonna let some more air out the tires, and then I'm gonna keep going. It's really unusual for the road to be like this right now, not completely covered in snow and ice. It should be like that this time of year, which is March. This huge river we're crossing is the Yukon River. It's a huge river. It runs to the ocean that way. It's starting to look a lot different. The landscape. Maybe the biome just shifted as we're getting into the Arctic. So at this point, it's basically just me and the truckers. I'm not seeing any normal cars on the road. I'm not seeing any cars at all, actually, or pickups or anything like that. It's just the big semi trucks coming up and down from the slope up top or close to the top. All right, we're at the Arctic Circle. We're on the Arctic Circle right now. Believe it or not, a huge amount of Alaska is below the Arctic Circle. Most of the people that live here live below the Arctic Circle. So I'll go back and show you on the map. Since we're right here, and this is Alaska, obviously, the chunk up here, the North Slope, and what doesn't count as the North Slope, but everything above the Arctic Circle is very sparsely populated. All the population centers are Anchorage down here. You have Fairbanks somewhere around here, Juneau in the southeast, and then the biggest native villages and villages in general are where the fisheries are over here. You do have Kotzebue up here, which is above the Arctic Circle, but anyway, you get my point that most people live below the Arctic Circle in Alaska. The day's almost over, actually, so I want to get set up for the night in a good spot for the best viewing. But we got to get to Coldfoot first. I got to get to Coldfoot, which is still like 60 miles, so that's what I'm gonna do now. So this is the Brooks Range now. the northernmost mountain range in Alaska. We're about to get to the foot of it. And that's where Cold Foot is. Finally made it. Finally made it. So that's Cold Foot. The entire town right here. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Look at that gas price. Nothing you can do about it. So while I'm sitting here taking a break, I just wanted to clarify some things about this trip. This highway that goes up to the Arctic Ocean, the top is Prudhoe Bay, at the top of the highway. And Prudhoe Bay, that's where the oil is, well, that's where all the drilling happens. And the highway wasn't open for tourists for a while. The thing is, if you do drive all the way to the top to Prudhoe Bay, you're not going to be able to really go to the Arctic Ocean because that facility is so big and it's not set up such that you can just drive right up to the ocean. It's not like that. If you really want to see the Arctic Ocean, if that's your goal, then you should probably fly to a village at the tippy top called Utqiagvik, or you can go into Canada and go to the native villages they have at the top in Northwest Territories and Nunavut. So that's the situation with this highway, and that's why I'm not going up to Prudhoe Bay. It doesn't make sense to do that when my goal is to see the aurora the best way I can and to see the Brooks Range. So I'm leaving Cold Foot. I'm going towards a town called Wiseman. I'm not sure if anybody lives there anymore, but it's just north of Cold Foot, and I'm gonna pick a spot somewhere along the way. I think this is it for the night for me. I'm gonna get set up. I'm gonna cook some food for myself, get my little bed set up, and prepare to try to catch them. What I'll probably do is set alarms every hour and peek outside because I'm so tired. It's been probably almost 12 hours now I've been driving. It's like 8 something, right, or 9 o'clock right now. Yeah, it's about 9 o'clock. So the problem with my camera is that it's meant for the light. When it gets really dark and the aurora is out, it's not going to be able to capture it properly. So I'm going to switch to my phone if/when the aurora comes out. But I'm just finishing up this ramen. Alright guys, so it's like 11 o'clock and there's starting to be a little strip in the sky, and that's how it starts. It looks like a cloud where it's nighttime. That's how it starts. So I'm about to go outside. So you see it's doing something right there, but it's pretty weak for the moment. And it's going up across to the trees this way. Good morning. I slept in a little bit. It's almost 11 o'clock, but I'm about to be on my way. I'm gonna keep driving north, which is that way. Gonna basically go through this entire mountain range to the other side and see what's over there for us in terms of the lights. I'm just gonna eat something real quick. So we just got to the north slope, and the north slope is the northernmost borough in Alaska, and we just passed a sign that said entering the north slope, and it said the world's largest municipality, and look how it looks. So now it's just barren nothingness. Galbraith 34, Dead Horse 173. So I'm heading up to Galbraith, where the lake is, a little bit past that, actually, to another one. Soon enough, the mountains will end and it's gonna get flat again, and that's where the lakes will be, and that's where I'm gonna set up for the night. It's just me and the pipeline now. That's the end of the Brooks Range, right there. We're gonna exit out of there, and then the lake should be coming up. Should be. I'm getting this feeling like I'm on another planet. It doesn't feel like Earth, the landscape. There's a whooshing sound, but I just feel like I'm somewhere else right now. And to be honest with you, it's something that I can't really explain, because you just have to be here. This is where we end for the evening. I may go to a different viewing spot, but let's just go down here real quick. Here's Toolik Lake, Institute of Arctic Biology, and UAF, University of Alaska Fairbanks. They have a field station here. I'm gonna go back to a spot I found over there, like 1 minute back the other way on the road, to set up for the night. I think it's gonna be really good because it's super wide open, it's clear. Hope they come out really nice tonight, but I need to eat first as well, so let me do all that. Pretty crazy, right? So that's me for the night. That's where I'm gonna be sleeping. North is that way, so the lights will be somewhere there, and maybe towards the east a little bit. But the sunset is so nice. If I stop filming and just leave my camera out, it will literally stop working because of the cold. So I'm keeping my batteries in a pocket, like right next to my body, like the pocket inside here. and I put the camera in the same one, or else it would just stop working from the cold. It's like 0 right now, but it could be a lot worse into the night. It probably will get worse, but that's warm for here. Usually, I mean, it can get like -20, -50, -70, even lower, you know. But nowadays, now this is the new norm, I guess. Why always ramen? Oh, it's quick, it's easy, it's cheap. Everybody knows how to cook it. So now, time to play the waiting game again. There goes the sun. So now we wait. And it may take a while. Last night I was just sitting here and I was going like in and out of sleep, just waiting. The lights, you really can't predict them, and it's annoying because the KP index that you can check is probably more inaccurate than an actual weather report. All right, so it's like approaching midnight and nothing yet. But the thing is, since we're farther north, much farther north, the sun isn't like fully, well, the light from the sun hasn't fully left yet. So once that leaves, we'll get more visibility, and I think something will come out. So yeah. All right, so it's almost 2 a.m. and there has been nothing at all. But right now, there's starting to be that little strip that looks like a cloud. But it's still very faint, so I hope it gets more, but there's no telling what it will do. So I'm just gonna keep watching. I'll probably be up for the rest of the night straight. This is getting pretty crazy, especially with the reds right there. Just covering the whole sky. All right, so I actually might have went too far north because the lights were actually in that direction last night, which is south. They still look nice, but I think the first night was better. I think if we were further south, the viewing could have been better last night. If you remember, I was pointing that way, thinking they would pop out in the north, but no, we're pretty far north here, so I suppose that's why they actually were coming towards the south. But it was worth coming up here to see this, to see how the North Slope looks. And yeah, now I'm gonna make my way back down towards Fairbanks after I eat breakfast, and then I'll have one more night on the road to see if we get lucky one more time, because I've been getting pretty lucky. But it is a solar maximum, but I still consider myself lucky for seeing this. So yeah, let's do it. Going straight back to Coldfoot. Gotta fill up gas. Gotta fill up the tank. Almost at half a tank. But I feel uncomfortable if I'm going below half a tank up here. And that's the closest place with gas, so we gotta go through the whole Brooks Range again. And then Coldfoot will be right there. But that's okay, it will look really nice again. That right there is Galbraith Lake, and there's some signs of life from there, but we're going straight ahead. We're not going over there. There's nothing for us over there. Gotta stay focused. Back up into the mountains. I didn't really explain that much why this highway is so dangerous, but I touched on it. Basically, there's these big ass trucks all along the highway, and they're focused on doing their job, and that's the primary purpose of this highway. It was open for tourism, but you really need a specialized vehicle for this. Right now, I'm the only, what I'm calling a civilian vehicle, because since I got up through this pass, I haven't seen any other vehicle that's not a truck, a semi-truck, or a like obvious government vehicle down by the lakes and stuff. I mean, also the conditions on the road, some portions are paved, but the majority of it isn't. It's just gravel, and it gets iced and frozen over. It looks like, well, it looks okay, but the reality is that they keep putting more layers of gravel over the road so that the trucks can drive as safe as possible on it. But it can fool people, and they'll get a little cocky, go too fast, go around a corner, whatever, flip their vehicle, etc. That's the main reason why this highway is notorious. Here we are now back in Adigan Pass. I missed the sign, but this is Adigan Pass, the notorious pass through the Brooks Range. We got in through it safely. Now gotta do the same on the way out. Alright, here it is, guys. Adigan Pass. I gotta be quick. I gotta be quick because it's so cold and the truckers are coming up and down. Coldfoot, 67 miles. Fairbanks, more than 300 miles away. So we got a ways to go. I'm driving all that distance today. It might not seem like a lot, but you can't go that fast on this highway. So it's gonna take me the whole day and into the night as well. Got back on a paved portion, but that won't last long. Fairbanks, 255 miles. So you see the sign has a bunch of bullet holes in it, because up here everybody just does drive-bys on all the signs. So every sign you see is gonna have a bunch of holes in it, because you just roll down the window and shoot at them. Just making a little stop here, but this sign says that the road, the Dalton Highway, cost $125 million and required 32 million cubic yards of gravel. I guess that's a lot. We're out of the Arctic. We just passed back into the subarctic. There's another helicopter right there. I'm not exactly sure why there's been so many, but I think they're just monitoring the pipeline for security reasons. This is the largest, well, up in Prudhoe Bay is the largest oil field in America. So this is the huge Yukon River. I stopped so we could lay eyes on it. It's one of the biggest in the world. I don't know the ranking, but you can see how wide it is. It's crazy. So it keeps going that way and empties into the Pacific Ocean. There's a lot of villages along the way, so if you were to go in a boat and just traverse the whole Yukon, you can stop You can stop along the way at various villages, mostly native villages, and most of them you can only get to by boat or plane, the ones on the Yukon River, so that's something cool about it. There's a better view of the pipeline right here, and just some more information about who built it, this bridge, why it was built. This guy, Edward Patton, is the guy who designed, well, who was in charge of building the pipeline, all 800 miles. So that's it for the Dalton Highway. Almost to Fairbanks, making pretty good time. Probably stop, get something to eat real quick. But it's 5:50, so almost 6, so got a few more hours till my last chance around here to see the lights. It is cloudy, so I'm not sure. Back to civilization, but the problem is that it's so cloudy, so I think I'm out of luck. But what I saw was really good. If I don't see any more, I'm satisfied. And I'll see you tonight for either more lights or me signing off. Well, guys, seems like my luck has run out. It's cloudy, very cloudy. And I can't see through the clouds, so I was lucky enough to see the aurora the 2 nights I did. But now, you gotta keep moving.